This conference will now be recorded.
But I said I have control issues under it.
Hi, Kim, how are you?
Tuesday, June 11th, Planning Commission meeting is called to order. All members are here except Steger and Boyd are not going to make it, so we have 5. Any amendments to the agenda?
Well, I made a change on 6A from the first one I sent out to you guys because I said Champa plat and that was wrong. So the correct agenda is in front of you. If you picked one up over there, that's the only change.
Plat to annexation.
Correct.
Motion to approve, anybody, as amended?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstain. 5-0-0 carries. Then approval of the May 14th regular meeting minutes.
Approve the minutes from the May 14th meeting.
Yeah, motion second. Any further discussion? Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained. Carries 5-0-0. No public hearings, no old business. 6A, new business, Champa annexation. How does Todd do it?
So this is just an information for you as the commission that you can see on the map here. 2024 East 9th Street improvements are going to take place. In order to do that, we will need to annex the land from the Champa family, which used to be the Berg family. So this is what the public hearing will be set with the city council. You can see here, we're requiring 1.94 acres of land to build a section of roadway associated with the 2024 East 9th Street improvement project. In order to facilitate the purchase and project construction, this land will need to be annexed to the city of Zumbrota. We're asking city council to set the annexation public hearing for July 18th, which they did at their last meeting. And you can see where the land is on the map. It's kind of that small section of land on the southeast side that is not annexed because the school land is next to it. And what they're going to do, hopefully, I think we showed you, was take away this hairpin turn here. So Jefferson will run kind of straight through there. So they need to purchase this land down here. In order to do that, they want to annex the whole.
The whole works, right, Kirk?
What's that?
Both parcels, not just a little bit, right? Yep.
Yep. So we'll be working with both Pine Island Township because they own this. Well, this parcel in the bottom part is in Pine Island Township and this is in Zumbrota Township. So we've started the process of annexation. It's just to keep the planning and zoning in the loop.
So just FYI.
Just feel free to let me know. Hopefully I can answer them.
6B.
6B is going to be setting a public hearing, hopefully. So the North Zumbrota Sanitary District. And so you can see up here, this is the land we're talking about in Zumbrota, James Wentz land. So we're right here. We're sitting right here right now. And then this is Wentz land up here. So, and then after I read this, the next 5 pages are going to be a variety of things from WHKS to kind of fill in knowledge. The North Zumbro Sanitary Sewer District will be purchasing 44.56 acres of land to build a new wastewater treatment facility. The facility will serve the cities of Goodhue, Pine Island, Wanamingo, and Zumbrota. In order to facilitate the purchase and project construction, this land will be annexed and then platted within the city of Zumbrota. An annexation public hearing will occur on July 18th, city council meeting. What we're asking the Planning and Zoning Commission is to set a public hearing for preliminary and final plat for July 9th at 5:35 PM. There's maps available there. The preliminary and final plat will be provided for the January 9th meeting.
July. You said January.
Oh, July 9th, not January. Sorry. And so you can see the variety of maps. The first map's going to be an annexation exhibit. And you can see the trail going through the land, and then there's a proposed map of what site layout, what the sanitary district may look like by the time they're done.
What is this line coming down here?
I think it's a sewer pipe.
No,
Goes to- goes
I'd
to-
say that's a road.
This one right here is a road?
Yep.
Okay,
It's a road.
Looks like to me it's a road.
I'll see it.
Because they're gonna have to get trucks. I mean, you have to access it.
Oh, correct.
It looks like a road to me. All the area in gray is like
All the way through it.
vehicular traffic. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Annexation includes the land over the river, the two loops, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Includes and north of the river as well.
Oh, north of the river also.
Even this stuff up here.
Oh, that's,
Well, that's south of the river, north of the trail.
North of the trail, sorry.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, everything south of the river. And I believe Mr. Wendt has this, somebody's going to buy this land from him. He'll still own it, obviously. It'll be part of this.
Yep.
City. And
so we'll be considering the plat at our meeting contingent on annexation approval, and then it'll go to council. They'll consider both probably the plat and the annexation at the same meeting, probably. Okay. All right, so what do we need to do? Schedule a public hearing on the plat?
yeah, on the flat. And you can see the date and time was listed there will be July 9th at 5:35 PM.
Okay, Kurt, I have one question. Okay, so the purple, if I'm looking at the one that has the picture, well, how much property is in between, like where that's gonna end and then it abuts back up to like Quail? Yeah, yeah.
That's what I wondered too.
Well, I'm just curious. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really,
So from this part here,
well, going towards Quail Ridge.
Right, the left.
Yeah, to the left, yep,
How
yep.
much room between these houses?
between those two and the.
And where I guess like there'd be a fence or something,
I
right?
think they're sludge ponds, they said. Did I read that right?
So you can see
Or are they
here,
down
I'll do my
low?
best to kind of.
Some sort of berm is gonna be there. Well, I'm just curious.
It looks like it's about 750 feet based on the scale,
Yeah, so here's.
Not quite. 600 something.
Yeah, you're right.
There's about 750 feet right there.
Pretty close.
Yeah, about 600 feet, 2 blocks.
I was just curious.
I think all that sludge is covered, it's all contained.
Is it?
I believe so, yes. It's a new bidding process.
Right, I mean, I'm thinking like it's not gonna be like
It's not
something
like
from
the-
1920. You know,
No.
we're obviously gonna be improving on, what we currently have, I'm sure. And this would all be fenced or something, right? So that no, like, random person could go in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it says there's a berm that goes around
Yep,
it.
Berms, yeah.
The annexation doesn't include, it doesn't look like the easement that runs through there. Is that correct?
So
Trail.
The trail easement, yeah.
That was discussed. I can't remember if anybody reached out.
City, but it will still be a part of the state of Minnesota. So it'll, yeah. As you can see on the map with the purple. Yeah, that's, I don't know how to say this. It'll be a part of the city of Zumbrota, but the city of Zumbrota will not own the trail.
Yeah.
Because it'll still be with, so it'll be basically the two areas south of the trail and then north of the
Is
trail.
that trail in already? Or
Yeah,
it is in?
yeah.
Okay.
Improved.
No, it's
Right.
not
It's not
improved.
It's
No.
not used right now.
Oh, yeah, it's used.
It's like
I walk it and run it every day practically.
back there.
Do you live up there in that area?
I live on Lancaster.
On where?
On Lancaster.
Oh,
Sure,
sure.
I live.
Does it have like gravel on it, the trail? Or not really?
Not really. No, it's not gravel.
But it's level.
It's
enough that you're
mowed
not-
and, yeah, it's a walkable, runnable, bikeable trail. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, that's what it is, yeah.
I'll make a motion to set the public hearing for July 9th at 5:35.
I'll second.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, carries 5-0-0. 6C card.
All right, looking for another public hearing. So this is a accessory structure amendment. So if we've had discussions about accessory structures. You can have two within the city. And we'd like to, city staff would like to change that. So you can see here is 6C. City staff requests the Planning and Zoning Commission set a public hearing set for July 9th, 2024 at 5:40 PM to consider amendments to the accessory structure ordinance. And if you go to the last page, what we would add is in red, be number 6, maximum number of accessory structures on a property. So if your property is 0 to 0.75 acres, you are allowed 2 accessory structures. And then you can see if it's 0.76 to 1.24 acres, you'd be allowed 3. And if it's 1.25 acres and up, you'd be allowed 4. Now, I know when you see that, your first thought is we're going to have all these accessory structures. 90% or more, roughly 90% of all lots within the city of Zumbrota are less than 1 acre, would be 0.75. So if this was ordinance right now, almost everybody in Zumbrota would be allowed 2 accessory structures. If you have a larger lot, then you would be allowed maybe 3. So here's an example, which I know a lot of people are probably thinking of. So let's just take this for example, just randomly pick that one. That's one, so the size of that lot's 1.19 acres. That citizen will be allowed 3 accessory structures. And that's a pretty big lot within the city of Zumbrota.
Yeah, like 80 by 120 is only 0.22 acres, so it's going to have to be a pretty good sized lot.
So as far as it goes today, so I got this from Brian. Here's an example. This is what Brian's memo said. The current ordinance states that only 2 accessory structures are allowed on a residential lot. We'd like to consider relaxing the requirement for larger lots as noted in the attached draft, which you have in front of you. The thought is that the spirit of the ordinance is to avoid having single-family lots look cluttered, and that larger lots can theoretically accommodate more accessory structures. 90% or more of the residential lots in town will still only be allowed 2 accessory structures. Very few city lots are large enough to meet requirements for more than 2 accessory structures. The Committee for Ordinance Definition and Enforcement thought it made sense and recommended to move it along to the planning commission for a public hearing. So the code committee brought this up. So that's what we're looking for a public hearing for. There's an amendment to the ordinance.
To add that as in red.
Correct. So there'd be specifics. So if you do have a larger yard, you could possibly have 3 structures instead of 2. Accessory structures.
Do we know of any that are 1.25 in town? That seems like a lot. Any properties?
This is actually across the board. It's not limited to just residential though, right? So, I mean, I know there's different rules in commercial, industrial, but probably be more of those types of lots.
I mean, it just seems like that's a giant lot.
Lex is pretty big on East Ford, but I don't think it's over that.
Well,
Jimmy Linhart.
Yeah, Linhart with all
But
that.
I think he's more than one parcel.
These lots are
Yeah, more.
1.13, sure.
So they're 1.1.
That's not the city though.
And Kenny's is outside of it.
It'd be very few.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the same thing.
Like Matt said, industrial areas or commercial areas. Different.
Something if people want to bring in a larger lot. I know there's some questions about. They're like, I want to build a big house on that and this, that, and the other. But I don't have off the top of my head, can you think of any that are that large?
They see.
My old houses,
Yes.
Is that in town?
On Jefferson,
You, what is that zone?
light industrial.
Yeah, you.
The house was there before it was zoned. I don't know why it was zoned light industrial,
Light industrial.
but that property is 4.2 acres.
Oh.
And it has a house, a garage, a barn, and one barn, and like a back shed. So it would have technically 3 accessory structures. Do you know what property I'm talking about? The bed and breakfast on Jefferson,
Oh. And how big is the lot?
4.2 acres.
Okay.
That one would apply to this.
To that.
But yeah, it's not zoned residential, it's zoned light industrial.
It's different. So we're looking for a motion to set the public hearing? I'll make that motion for, what date is it?
I got, we're talking, sorry to interrupt
Oh,
you
go
there. So, but, there's always a question if you own 2 tax parcels and you haven't combined them into one, can that still qualify as a lot? Or in this case, a property, There's always a little bit of gray area there. So, do you limit it to separate tax parcels just for clarity, or do you just leave it as property and hope that once in a while it just becomes an interpretation issue? There are people that own multiple lots that are
Yeah, like
contiguous.
when we were talking about, was it chickens? How did we define that?
So there's Scott Keene's lot, where he wanted to put an addition on, so he went ahead because he owned both these lots.
Yeah.
So both of those, that's pretty big, is going to be 0 acres.
0.
Pretty well. That's weird. But, yeah,
I didn't think he combined those lots, or did he?
yeah, I did before.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like a,
So county can make rules for us, but we can't make rules.
Right?
Look at you, Kurt.
Big time.
very talented.
0.58 acres. And so under this, he would be allowed with 2 accessory structures. Yeah, so that's just
So totally off subject, but how did we handle that? Because didn't we say it had to be for the chickens? Because she was like, well, then you can have, 60 chickens and then,
On each parcel.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we did, but.
Oh, that's right, that was a
Because she
lady
owned,
that was here.
she owned, was it 2 lots?
Remember that?
I don't know. The lady with the chickens, you mean?
She didn't have chickens, but I think she was not wanting people to have, well, if you have, this big of property, but I don't know if it was divided into 2 lots.
Because if you, my old house on East Avenue, it's a double lot, 2 separate tax parcels. House is on one, and then it's bare lot. And if you interpreted each parcel, then I could have put 2 accessory structures on the one parcel with my house and 2 more structures over on that bare lot. So maybe we want to say includes all contiguous tax parcels as one property or something like that.
We better do that.
Because hasn't the practice been, I always think that like the golf course, I know in the past, there were people that wanted to purchase 2 lots
Yep.
and build a garage on the second lot.
Right?
And they were like, and the feeling was always no, because it's, we're also looking at tax capacity for the lots. And
Right.
the urban density in that is not a fitting.
Yeah,
Well,
council's
and-
pretty hard line, I'm sorry, it was a pretty hard line on that until Leroy Schleet did that lot combination. So they kind of opened the door a little
That
bit.
one kind of slid like right on, I'm like, that one, that.
So, and then I think council's backpedaling after that one. So,
I think
But to have an accessory structure, don't you have to have a primary resident on the lot? So you couldn't put accessory structures on there because you have to have a primary resident on the parcel? You can't just add an accessory structure to a lot if there's no primary residence there, correct?
I think maybe, was that what we did with chickens? We tied it to the principal residence. Just want to,
I think that is right, from what I recall.
I don't remember what we
because
did.
in
because I don't-
my mind, you should be allowed to have, it shouldn't matter for tax parcels if you combine it into one or have 2 separate ones, but if they're contiguous, in my mind, that's kind of, could be considered one giant lot. I've always cited an example over in Wanamingo for old subdivision was like 20-foot wide lots. And I don't know why, but, so there's people that own 4 or 6 of those lots and they're described separately, but it's kind of considered one giant lot for their house or something. So there's tax parcels and then there's actual platted lots, and those aren't necessarily the same.
So they haven't gone through the replatting process
Right.
to get rid of the lot lines.
Right? But it might be one giant tax parcel in the assessor's office. So, yeah, I mean, maybe that's the position to take, is it just needs to be tied to the parcel where the principal residence is. That's the definition of an accessory structure. Leave it at that. Just something to think about. I mean, it's the word, what does the word property mean right there? Maximum number of accessory structures on a property. Should it be lot, parcel with principal residence?
For sure say parcel, shouldn't we? Primary parcel?
maximum number of accessory structures on a parcel containing a principal residence.
Yeah, that makes it clear.
So that would encompass all, if there's two of them, that would,
No, not necessarily.
Maximum number of accessory structures on a parcel containing principal residence.
And then do we have to go one step further and say no structures are permitted on parcels that do not contain a
Well, it
principal
says
residence?
that earlier here in the ordinance. Says, no accessory building or structure shall be erected or constructed prior to the erection or construction of the principal or main building, but may be erected simultaneously.
That will cover it, huh?
You can't build a garage unless you have a house there first. We had that question.
It's just a matter of the contiguous lot.
That's right. No shit.
So maybe staff could ponder that proposed language change before the council meeting? Kurt, what do you think?
Yeah. So if we make the change now, do we have to wait till another meeting to make the change?
No.
So we could say maximum number of accessory structures on a parcel containing principal residence would be the statement, and then the lot size and the numbers underneath, that'd be fine.
I think so.
Looks good to me.
See what Brian thinks.
Good. Yeah, I'll ask him, sure.
Motion to have the public hearing with the wording changed or amended?
Yeah, when are we going to schedule this one?
5:40.
Okay,
Okay, so I'll make that motion to hold the public hearing on July 9th at 5:40 with the changes in the language on 6.
Second.
discussion. Not all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, carries 500.
so we have two public hearings that night?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the first one is going to be over in 5 minutes?
They can wait.
I think so.
Yeah, all the district meetings have been going pretty quickly.
Yep.
I mean, it could, that just starts here.
Anything else, Kurt? All right, meeting adjourned, thank you.
That's good. How's summer going? It's been a week, 2 weeks.
Right.
Now it's nice. Weather's been a little rain, but good other than that.
Yeah, okay.